Excuse you. Hey, you guys. I'm just chilling. I wanted to go live. And I don't know who's going to watch this now or later, but I had a few things I wanted to talk about, child. Yeah. Had a few things I want to talk about. Hold on real quick. Let me see something. Ooh, they got all this stuff in here that I... Okay, y'all, my bad. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. I wasn't trying to be tripping just then. Oh, that's loud. Girl, calm down. Okay. I know this is like the most sloppiest presentation ever, but I just wanted to talk about some things with you guys over here because of a few videos that I'm planning on releasing, and I definitely don't want it to be like a weird experience or anything like that. But there's definitely a lot of things that I feel like people need to understand about the times that we're living in right now. Hey, Ray, I didn't even see you pop up in there. Oh my God, it's 7 people in here? Hey, you guys. I wanted to talk about a few things, and I put a title on here. This is what you prayed for. Don't be afraid now, right? And really interestingly, the Rihanna song where she's talking about lightning, this is what you came for. Okay. Or baby, this is what you came for. Lightning strikes every time she moves. And everybody's watching her, but she's staring at you. Ooh, ooh. Yeah. So this is what a lot of people have prayed for. And I know that might sound callous and it might sound negative. Y'all be sure to like and subscribe to continue to catch the vibe. Y'all get the likes up in here if you're going to watch. I would really appreciate it. But a lot of people are looking at situations going on like what happened in New Orleans and what's going on in California and just things that are even happening all around the world, things that were happening in 2024 that we came into this year kind of on the backs of with the energy and like how things are starting to unfold. People don't realize that this is what we've all prayed for. People don't realize that this is what you've been asking for. This is the redemption. This is the justice. This is the salvation. This is the cleansing. This is the redemption, or what, I don't know if I said that already, but whatever word that you can add that you would see someone or think that someone has prayed for is exactly what we're experiencing. And a lot of people may look at the devastation and they may look at the carnage and the misfortune that people are experiencing in a very negative light. They may see it as something that, oh my God, like that's so horrible. You know, the situations that are going down right now are just a travesty, and people are losing their lives and people are losing their property. And I totally get that. I'm not saying that all of those things aren't horrendous. I'm not saying that all of those things aren't devastating. I'm not saying that those things aren't heartbreaking. But what I'm saying is that what we have to realize as people is that this is what we came for. This is what we prayed for. This is what we've been asking for God, Most High, Source, whoever you pray to deliver upon you or to you. And I think sometimes people forget, no matter what form of divination, whether it's more spiritual or more religious, people a lot of times forget that when you pray for something and when you ask for something and you want for it to be given to you, even if you're not praying in a formal way, if your heart desires something, if your soul wants something and you want it bad enough, you're going to get it. But the way that you get it may not always be the way that you imagined it. And sometimes the pride and the ego within us prevents us from being able to realize that. It prevents us from being able to see that because we're so stuck on what we anticipated for our joy or salvation or our answered prayers to look like. And I know a lot of people right now are in California suffering. I know a lot of people were distraught when Trump was elected president. I know a lot of people have been on an emotional roller coaster when it comes to celebrity news and everything that's going on in the media with prolific figures. But this is what we've prayed for. I think that it's going to take a lot of strength. It's going to take a lot of strength for everyone to get through the times that we're in right now. But this is not the time to be afraid. This is not the time to renege on what you asked for or what you prayed for just because the way it showed up is not what you anticipated or what you expected. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. If you pray and ask for strength, and I'm not a religious person, so anybody who wants to, put a religion on it or something like that, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not necessarily talking about religion or any particular sect of religious belief. I'm just talking about a pure ambition or desire within human beings. Don't be afraid now. Because everybody is talking about, all of these different things that are going on. And it's kind of crazy that all of these things are happening. And meanwhile, it's like, it's so crazy. It's just, I know I'm not really saying a whole lot, but you have to listen deeper to what I'm saying. It blows me. It blows me that all of these things are happening at the same time, child. Like how is the exit strategy for the United States current president who's leaving office to see that there's so much devastation going on and then send billions, millions and billions of dollars to another country again? How is it that the incoming president is, instead of like being productive or encouraging or anything other than what he's doing, how is it that he's talking about like placing blame on people like that? It blows. This shit is crazy. And I was trying to wait until like 15 minutes to literally blow my top, but like it's crazy to me. And what I think a lot of people have to realize is that it's actually not that crazy. Exactly. Cake been baked. That's what I'm saying. We pray, you said we pray to be delivered from evil daily. We can't control how the deliverance will take place. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. There's so many people who are like, there's so many people who don't understand this. And it's all going to manifest different like causes and effects. Like the people experiencing the fires in California. There are poor people all around the world who do not give a single okay? They don't care. And you know why? It's because their life is in shambles and in flames every single day. And while it's not right, what's the song? It's not right, but it's okay because we gonna make it anyway. The late great Whitney, she went ahead and said it, and it's not right. It's not okay, but we're gonna make it through. And I think a lot of people, especially people that I've seen, and I'm not the consensus for everyone all over the world, but a lot of religious people that I've seen and heard speak just from different clips and things, and I know that's not concrete. It's like, how are you religious? And how do you say that you believe in God, but then it's like all of this fear that begins to manifest, and all of these, you know, crazy ideas that begin to manifest. That's the part that's crazy to me. And I just wish that people could see this. Don't be afraid now that, don't be afraid now that things are going up in smoke, literally, because that's what we've been asking for. We're so tired. Everybody complains day in and day out about governmental structures. Everybody complains day in and day out about celebrities. Everybody complains day in and day out about like the wealth gap or whatever it's called, the differentiation of wealth, and how things are so imbalanced and things are so out of whack. Everybody complains all the time about food shortages, price gouging, gas prices, grocery prices. There's a continuous and perpetual pleading and begging factor that happens from everyone all the time about things that they have gripes and grievances with. And now that shit is hitting the fan, everybody's like, everybody's shook. Bitch, don't be shook now. Don't be shook now. Because this is all a part of the plan. And sometimes, like this is, and I'm going to be real with y'all because I just wanted to come on here and talk. I didn't necessarily have a whole lot to say, but like this is sometimes what I think about when I think about like my past experiences and my life and different things that I wanted and then manifested, but then was upset or dissatisfied with the end result of what I manifested. A lot of y'all know my story. A lot of y'all know what I've been through. And I'm still every day working on forgiveness. And it's not an easy thing. It's not easy for me to forgive the people who I feel like put a pressure and a burden on my life. But I also have to forgive myself and take accountability for the ways that I orchestrated certain, pieces on the chessboard to move the way that they moved. You know? Hey, boo. Who is that? Marie? Hey, Marie. I hope you're doing well. You said this is a season of exposure and judgment, and it's here. But the Most High has not given us the spirit of fear. Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of things that we don't know. And you talked about exposure in your comment. And that's one thing that I feel like a lot of us don't really like. I made a cosmic conversation about it, and I want to explain some of the videos on the channel and how they're kind of like working. But that's why I said in the cosmic convo about full disclosure that people aren't ready for full. Everybody says they're ready for full disclosure, and I believe that a large majority, a large chunk of people are ready for full disclosure. I believe that there's a large group of people who have done the work and evaluated themselves and the lives around them to be fortified enough to understand full disclosure and be able to accept what's being disclosed without a lot of, negative judgment or perpetuation of stereotypes, and really have a perspective that's objective. I believe that there are a lot of people who are ready to do that. But I also feel like there are a lot of people who are not. And some of the people who think that they're ready to hear what's going to be said or see what's going to be seen, they're not really ready. And I don't even know if I'm ready, to be honest with you. Like right now, I have really been trying. I've been having some weird dreams, you guys. And y'all, please like the video if you're going to stick around. I really appreciate you being here. I hope you're enjoying the conversation because we're just chilling. Because this is my vibe. Like, I'm not a crazy type of, like, organized person. I just want to vibe. What do the kids be saying? Just vibe or something like that. Like, don't trip, just vibe. Child, I'm old now, bitch. But but yeah, like a lot of the things that people say that they're ready for, I don't think that everybody's ready for it, because there are so many people who are still in a sheltered, condensed place within their mind. And it's going to take those of us who have done at least a substantial amount of work on ourselves, because I don't ever think the work is going to be done as an individual for me. Like, the work that I have to do when it comes to growth independently is something that I've accepted will take my entire life. And I'm okay with that. I truthfully have accepted that I will have to continue to grind my entire life, and not like a torturous grind. It's a grind of determination and grit, and it's a grind of constant evolution that may be challenging at times, but it's also very rewarding. But there are a lot of people who are comfortable in the headspace and in the frame of mind where they don't want anything to change. They don't want anything to be different. They don't want to see uh the devastation that comes with the evolution. Because I'm letting you know right now, a lot of the foo-foo niceties that people like to talk about when we were all fantasizing and romanticizing the age of Aquarius is not going to be how it looks when it first goes down. And we're seeing that firsthand. And if a lot of you came from my other channels, I've talked about this. It's like I just saw a TikTok on a video compilation that I was watching on Dre OG's channel. And this girl, like, it was something in the sky, looked like some alien type whatever that's been floating around. And the lady is recording it, and the daughter is in the background like, "Mommy, I don't want to die. Don't let me die. I don't want them to take me." And I'm just like, oh shit. You get what I'm saying? Then you got AI busting out millions of views on YouTube, and whoever that, I guess Zuckerberg or whoever, talking about how it's going to be free speech. We're all for free speech now. Y'all, I'm telling you, this shit is going to get worse before it gets better. And a lot of y'all who think that you're ready for the smackdown, cause the way it's looking, it's looking like, girl, dude, it's looking like we're gonna be in the ring at WWE, and we're gonna be on the mat, and it's gonna be a big chunky husky motherfucker about to jump down on us, and all we can do is watch. That's what it feels like. Child, that's what it feels like. It feels like it's about to be smackdown. It feels like, I mean, and this is the thing for me, like, the fact that I experienced so much when I was young, I really feel like I'm jaded. Ooh, my eyes itching, y'all. I'm sorry. I gotta scratch it. Mm. Mm. Ray, you said that's why I'm in the gym, because I'm fighting back. I know that's right. I know that's right. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, because that's an outlet too. Mm. This sucker is getting on my nerves, child. I can't even pull the lashes off. They on there. But that's what you got. You have to do, like, the way I fight back is gaining information. Because if I gotta fight, I'll fight. Okay? If I have to, I will. But I also like to absorb information, and I've always been like that. Like, when I was a kid, I used to read the dictionary. And people be like, girl, you did not read it. I did. I sat there and read Webster's dictionary. I had a child dictionary and I had an adult dictionary. My mom had an adult dictionary and I had a child dictionary. And when I got tired of the child dictionary, I went and got the big one out the entertainment center. And I would sit in my mama's papasan chair that we had in the living room next to the window, and I would open the blinds and sit there and read the dictionary. A lot of you guys know that I like the show Outlander. I like watching TV shows about history, or even if they're fictional, I like watching movies or TV shows that depict some type of conflict resolution situation. I don't just consume like brain rot type of content. I try not to. Sometimes I do, but I try not to. And it's just like, with everything going on, a lot of people have been asking for all of these things to change, and they're changing. This is what it looks like. When I sat in my room as a little girl and I thought about what I wanted my future to look like, I wanted a house and I wanted a family to fill up the house. I wanted some things that I haven't gotten yet, but I really wanted a family. I played Barbies and imagined, my little Barbies having kids and getting married and all these different things. I literally manifested all of that. I was just very unaware and ignorant to how manifestation works. And as we all are at a young, ripe age. And we find as we begin to manifest things, if we pay attention, that we're actually bringing to fruition a lot of the things that we asked for and that we wanted, but that maybe we didn't know how to properly detail or articulate. We bring forth a lot of things that we wanted, but that we didn't anticipate the actual physical representation of what it would be. We think about what we want and we imagine what we want, but the details and the patches that are missing are a part of the things that end up happening, either based on other people's free will and choices or based on a lack of detail or proper communication on our part, not only to whoever we pray to, but to ourselves. Because the more clear we are with ourselves about what we want, the clearer we can be when it comes to what actually transpires. And I think a lot of people don't understand the collective consciousness and how the collective consciousness plays a role in the overall picture. So, for example, I manifested marriage and kids. And then I aligned with someone who probably also manifested marriage and kids, but neither of us knew what it would take to bring our ultimate vision into reality, or we weren't prepared for what it would take, or we weren't willing to give what it takes, or we both had different perspectives and outlooks on what it would look like. And that's what creates the diverging results. And then you fight against it and fight against it because it's not what you wanted it to look like, all the while failing to realize that you purely and simply asked for this. And that's one of the things that I've personally been working on as an individual, is accepting and taking accountability for what I have chosen to bring to life in my life, and not blaming the other person for their part in the situation. Because you can't, at the end of the day, you can't blame other people for your personal dissatisfaction when it comes to what you end up manifesting into the world. You cannot blame other people for your personal disappointments. I've blamed other people almost my entire life for things that either they had no control over or things that I had no control over. Either I was blaming myself or I was blaming somebody else. Either way, sometimes you don't really have any control over it. Now there are times where you have to take accountability, like I said. But like, for example, my mother passing away. I blamed myself for that for a long time. I had to accept that it was not my fault and that there was nothing that I could do to change that particular circumstance from taking place. And therefore, it allowed me to start to analyze my choices and decisions from the past differently, to see where I overcompensated because I thought that it was my fault, which then caused me at times to overcompensate in friendships and relationships to prevent some type of loss from taking place, because I didn't it's like I didn't settle that within myself and see it for what it was. I didn't accept that there was nothing that I could do about my mom passing. But because I didn't accept that, I went through relationships trying to figure out how to get someone to stay with me or how to keep someone from leaving, when in reality, there's nothing that I can do to control another person. And if I've done everything that I can do in the outcome that I feel like I can do in good faith to have a positive outcome and it's still negative, then that means it was out of my hands. That's what it is. And I think that some people right now, when it comes to world events, are like looking for someone to blame. That's why I said all of that stuff. Like somebody needs to own this shit right now. Okay? That's what people are doing. Meanwhile, y'all see my son, he drew this. My son drew that, and it's supposed to be the astrological wheel, but the symbols are different. That's not the actual astrological symbols. He just drew his own astrological symbols. I just had to tell y'all, but my bad. Everybody's looking for somebody to blame. There ain't nobody to blame. That's the thing that people aren't ready to accept. They're not ready to accept that what we've prayed for and asked for is going to illuminate everything that's been going on, and the fact that deep down at the core of the situation, we are all to blame. Ooh, child. And this is a beautiful thing. Not everybody's going to be able to accept it. Not everybody's going to be able to process what I'm saying. And not everybody's going to even believe what I'm saying to be true. But this, I'm telling you, this is what it's for. This is what we came for. To elevate, to evolve. You have to understand that you chose this life, just like you choose the people who you deal with, sometimes, majority of the time, just like you choose what you eat every day, just like you choose what soap you use to wash your ass and what clothes you put on so that you're not walking around naked. You chose to be here. This is what you came here for. And because I have realized that I tend to like chaos and pain for whatever reason, and foolishness. And it's a joke, you guys. It's a joke. So please do not come for me with no craziness. But there is a certain level of daredevilness that we all have to have for choosing to live during this time. I don't know. I'm just letting you know. You got to be a little insane to have incarnated during this time. You got to be. Because either you have the warrior spirit, you have the psychic spirit, you have the nefarious spirit for some of these people. Whatever it is, we all a little crazy. We all a little thrown off for wanting to incarnate during this time. And I feel like it's because we all have something to do here in this process, and we all have something to prove in this process. And it goes a lot deeper than the surface level celebrities, politicians, public figures, the average. I'm telling y'all, it feels like it's so much deeper than the things that we've been talking about. It's not only discovering things about the past and about what's been kept from us when it comes to history. That's just the surface. Because when you find the history and when you understand what's been kept from you, what is it going to say? That's the question that I ask myself. When we get all the tablets and when we get all the records and when everything is revealed that, has been, because I believe that there are things that are going to be revealed that have been destroyed, and there's going to be some type of restoration where Like these, controlling forces have destroyed things for us not to know who we are. But just like, what was it in the Ten Commandments, when the Ten Commandments movie created the tablets, I feel like that will be what happens when our true history is revealed. Cause you can, man, like you can destroy whatever you want to. You can destroy the monuments, you can destroy the tapestries, you can destroy the writings, you can destroy the tablets, but you cannot destroy source. And I'm not talking about a biblical God from the Bible. I'm talking about the source creator, the source power that we all plug into when we dream, the source power that we all plug into when we create, the source power that we all plug into when we use our imagination as children. I just watched so many kids outside because I'm in the South, and I really believe y'all are going to see some video. I filmed some videos today. I'm going to release them periodically on this channel, so be sure to subscribe and put your post notifications on. But while I was filming, crazy shit was happening. Something blew up twice while I was talking down the street. It was so weird. Then I don't know what was going on. Something fell on the roof. I feel like it was a tree branch that fell down. But I'm in the South and it just snowed. We never get any snow. But when I talk about a source power that is alive within all of us, I'm talking about those kids that I saw outside, including mine, playing in the snow because they've never when I saw a baby, and I witnessed this with my kids years ago when it snowed, but when I saw that baby, it was a baby, and she is not old enough to have seen the snow like it snowed today. And when I tell you, I felt a jolt of electricity go through my heart space and all throughout my resonated all throughout my body, because this girl, this young baby, was outside running around in the snow as if magic was happening. As if magic was literally unfolding around her. And it was in her heart. I know that's what it was, because her mom kept saying, it's cold, it's cold. I ain't got no gloves. She wanted to build a snowman. Her mom was like, I ain't got no gloves. The little girl, she was like, the mom was like, come on, let's go in the house. Come on, we got to go back in the house. It's cold. And the little girl just took off running. She was the first one out there. Nobody had touched the snow. She took off running. And she was just like giddy and laughing and so happy. That is the source power that I'm talking about within all of us, that will literally fill in any holes and any gaps that have been tainted or destroyed by the enemy that does not want us to know who we are. And when you ask for deliverance and you ask for freedom and you ask for the chains that bind you to be removed, you can't be picky about how they're removed. And I'm telling you this because there are going to be more tragic situations that happen. Like listen, y'all, there are 3 videos that I have not released, and I'm not necessarily happy about being the one to have to say certain things, but I have to. I have tried to run from this for a long time, but there are 3 things that are prominently coming to mind that you guys need to be prepared for. and that none of us are going to be able to control. But there's no one to blame but us. And that is the sad truth, that revealing the truth is going to show us. It's going to bring a lot of pain. It's going to bring a lot of grief. It's going to ignite feelings of guilt within us that we don't necessarily know how to deal with, because it's going to be on a very large scale. If you look at what happened in California, and you're looking at what's going on with the fires and the devastation, when when I tell you scorched earth, I mean scorched earth. When I tell you tragedy, I mean tragedy. But when I say these things, it's not for you to be scared, it's for you to be prepared. And not so much physically prepared, because that's part of it, but it's for you to be prepared as an all-encompassing being, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. You can never really prepare for certain things in life, like death or having children. Life and death are things that you cannot physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally prepare for 100% and not have some type of unknown factor pop up. No matter how many books you read about having babies, you will never know how it is to have a child until you have a child. It doesn't matter how many people you listen to talk about death. You will never know how it feels for someone close to you to die until it happens. And everybody thinks that, like I said, everybody thinks that they're ready for full disclosure, but they are not. Majority of us are going to be challenged and tested to our core to see if we're able to see this through. And a lot of people aren't going to make it. And you're going to have to leave those people behind. You're going to have to let them go. You're going to have to move forward. And it's going to be hard, because they're going to be the people who you care about most. But it's not the time to run away scared. You won't be able to turn around and look, because you might turn to stone. And I think that that has a correlation to volcanoes. And I don't know why, but Pompeii's been coming up in my mind. And I'm not going to say too much, but that video is coming out. I'll probably release that video tomorrow, because I just can't hold on to it no more. Okay. But I think what we have to remember throughout all of the devastation that we may see is, child, these ads. I be trying to take them off. I'm going to tell y'all. Hold on. But this is the thing. What we're going to have to remember through all of the devastation and pain is that we may have caused this. We may have had a hand in it. We may have perpetuated the negativity that we see and experience, and we may feel really shitty about it. But at the end of the day, if we caused it, we can also resolve it. And that's something that I think a lot of people are going to have to learn the hard way, because we're in this powerless state of mind. We're in this state of mind that is wrapped in fear. Okay? A lot of us are in a state of mind where we don't feel that there's anything that we can do. And it's human. It's not like you should just be immune to this shit. Like you're not, susceptible to issues of insecurity or pride or ego. But that's why all of this shit is we have to be triggered. Because if I think about all of the shit that I've been through, And everything that I've experienced that could have literally taken me out, that almost took me out, right at the point where I was teeter-tottering between persevering and giving up, I was at my most triggered. And true power is being able to understand that moment and then taking the motivation and the momentum of that energy to boost yourself up through the stratosphere. Man, I'm sorry about that, Liz. I feel you because my sleep has been crazy. But that's what it is. You're going to feel ripped apart, but you're going to have to get up. And I don't know why God made me like this. And I've always felt like I hated myself because I felt like everybody hated me. And I've had to accept a lot of things that were just never going to happen. But there's also a lot of things that I'm going to get to do and that a lot of you are going to get to do that other people aren't going to ever experience. And it's because you are that type of person who understands these concepts and lives your life by these concepts. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe a lot of this shit that people are saying. You know, there's going to be things that are completely true and there's going to be things that are completely malarkey, tomfoolery, bullshit, and lies. And you may not know the difference. So, because of that, it's best for you not to allow your emotions to be ripped out of control, but also don't be so detached and numb that you can't empathize the situation as if it were real and try to envision something beneficial that could come out of it. I don't know. I don't know. Ray, you couldn't sleep either. Oh man, Liz, you said if you said I feel you on the triggers in that moment. Felt ripped too. I cried more this week than I have in a decade. Wow. Liz, I hope everything, starts to get better for you. And that's something that I feel like we can all relate to. And I think a lot of the suffering, or I don't even want to call it suffering, but a lot of the personal evaluation that we're all feeling right now that relates to suffering, or all of the things that we're seeing right now, that's one thing that we have to understand is that there's so many of us who are going through and experiencing the same thing. But there's so many times where we forget that we are equal in that way. We forget that we're the same. And I think it's crazy that, some people can't see both sides of situations, but it's hard. It took me a long time to be able to see. I'm still biased on certain situations. But like, for example, I know with the California situation, Janae Aiko had come online and talked about her house burning down. And I know Paris Hilton, and I think it's like, what's his name? The movie producer guy. I can't remember his name, but he makes movies. All of these people are talking about their houses burning down. It's a lot of celebrities, right? But Janae Aiko is non-problematic. I mean, I think she's a Pisces, if I'm not mistaken, so I'm partial to her. And she just has talent and makes good music, and she never really like gets into trouble other than, dealing with that troublesome man that she be dealing with. And I don't even keep up with that half the time. But what I'm saying is, like, everybody was telling her, like, she was getting a lot of, like, flack and backlash and the comments, and, people assuming that she just has a certain amount of money and that she deserved for her house to burn down, and just craziness, right? But at the same time, the level of poverty that people feel and that we've all been feeling the pressure of for the last, what, 4 or 5 years now, 5 years now, all of that pressure is busting pipes. Pressure busts pipes. So while I don't agree or necessarily feel like it's warranted for Janae Aiko to get heat, I can understand why she would get caught up in the crossfire because of people, who may be more deserving of that. And it's like seeing both of those sides is something that I feel like is going to be the most difficult thing for us as people to be able to do, is to understand our perspective, but to also be able to not be sympathetic or feel sorry, but to be empathetic and be able to feel and understand. And God bless Home Depot, because if they didn't teach me some very spiritual things at a corporate level, when I tell you, when I worked at Home Depot, that's where I learned the difference between empathy and sympathy. And sympathy is, oh, I feel so sorry for you. And that's a person viewing your situation from a perspective of, wow, that sounds horrible. I'm glad it's not me. But empathy is someone seeing your situation and realizing how difficult it may be. And if they were to put themselves in your shoes, they would be able to relate to how you feel, so they understand wherever you're coming from and are able to navigate with you through your emotions to hopefully help or assist in some way to get you to the other side. People don't understand that. People don't understand the difference between those things. And one thing that we're going to have to understand is that difference. People are not going to be able to differentiate between empathy and sympathy. And it's going to be something that will hinder us if we're not careful. If we're not able to work as a team, as a collective, without a hive mind mob mentality, and if we're not able to have empathy or understanding for our fellow human, and finally not able to take accountability for our own actions, we're going to literally put ourselves in the same situation or worse situation than what we're in now. And that's the point of all of this shit. Because we are being literally ripped from any source of comfort and brought to a place of such discomfort and dissatisfaction so that we can learn these lessons. And if anybody tells you anything different, they're full of fucking shit. Yes, girl, we are up late tonight. It's that I know it will get better, but also questioning how much I can do and push through. I know I'm strong, and so are my ancestors and spirit guides with me, but can I have a sec to breathe? Right. They're saying no. That's just intuitively. We're not going to get any time to breathe. You have to make time to breathe. They're not going to stop this. No one can stop. I don't even think that, because I know a lot of people have different belief systems and different um spiritual practices. I know there's a lot of deities that people either pray to, worship, consult with in different religious groups, but they can't, because I'm gonna let you guys know too. There was a video I saw about uh the Queen of California. The name California is named after, is it Khalifa? I don't know. There was a queen, right? It was Liz. But isn't it a queen? Not like Wiz Khalifa. I'm hearing Khalifa. But the queen that California was named after, right? When I tell you, okay, yeah, it's Khalifa. Okay, listen, listen, listen. Oh wow, I didn't know that, EOD. I didn't know that. Oh yes, I did know that. See, I be knowing stuff and I forget, y'all. Like my brain is a reservoir. And sometimes that's why I said it's so important that we're going to have to work together. Because my brain has certain information that then could prompt your brain to how to access the information that you have housed, and then whatever you have housed in your brain may activate information that somebody else may have in theirs. That's why we have to work together. That's why they're telling us that we cannot go at this in an individualistic mentality or state of mind, because there are going to be holes and gaps that are going to have to be filled individually by each of, like, how that old picture of the world, of the globe back in the day in the 90s, that had like all these people holding hands around the globe, and it looked like those little cutouts, like when you cut out one person and then stretch the paper out and it's a bunch of them. That's how what I see in my mind's eye. We're going to have that type of mentality. And if we don't have that type of mentality, and if we don't have a collective unity when it comes to how we approach these situations that are transpiring, we will not succeed. And unfortunately, there are going to be people who will not have that mentality, and they will bring down the people who are willing to think and maneuver in that collective type of way. And when I say hive mind and mob mentality, there is a certain mentality that large groups of people can adopt that's very counterproductive, because it's like a mob mentality, and it's a mentality of, if everyone doesn't think the same in the group, then we're going to cancel people out of the group, or we're going to persecute people in the group. That's the mentality we have right now. But the mentality of the collective and the group that I'm talking about is one that truly and authentically and transparently accepts everyone in the group for their uniqueness and for their individuality, without judgment and without persecution and without the forceful desire to control the different people in that group. If you are coming across any groups or organizations that have honestly, it's a one leader mentality. If you're coming across any of these groups that elevate or deify, I don't know if it's the right word, but create a deity out of somebody who is like the focal point of power and they're the all power, that's liable to turn into a cult. And I don't think that there's anything good that can come from that. Because at this point, that's not going to be in alignment with what those um effigies, is it effigies, like Queen Khalifa, that's not what they're fighting for. Because a lot of the earth and the beings that were on the earth, like that queen, were robbed. They were robbed. They were robbed of everything that belongs to them. And the prayers that we've prayed, the things that we've asked for to be delivered from this bondage, are connected to those, deities. It's connected to those beings that were originally robbed. Why? Because they are the ancestors of us. We are the descendants of those beings. Point blank, period. So the difference between us and them is that they have the knowledge to know that sacrifices must be made in order to become free. You have to fight. Sometimes you have to die. Sometimes you have to leave people behind. And it's not in a way where it's perverse or imbalanced, but it's in a way that's, what's the word I want to use? Not perverse or imbalanced, but it's in a way that's honoring. It's honoring. And sometimes, unfortunately, there's a fight that has to happen. But this fight and everything that we see it's all been perverted. That's the word that keeps coming to mind, is perversion. Right? Everything that I'm saying sounds as if it's closely correlated to the problems that we currently have. But what changes is the mentality and the understanding to where it doesn't become excessive. Hey, Kevin. Welcome. Thank you. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like all of the things that are rooted in spiritual belief or hidden, forgotten, unknown knowledge, all of these things have been perverted and extorted and distorted by the controlling forces that are currently, controlling everything, ruling over everything now. And skewed they've skewed the facts to their own personal gain. They've skewed the facts to their own selfish desires and will from a place of pride and ego. So even though war may be necessary, even though fighting may be necessary, even though some type of excavation of the land or use of natural resources and materials may be necessary, they have distorted it and made it perverse to where the balance no longer remains. And that's the problem. Because it's not like the way that we live is necessarily wrong, but it's the fact that there's no balance. It's not necessarily that what we want is wrong. It's the fact that we want it and we don't want anybody else to have it. And it's not all things, it's not all people, but there are definitely some things in your life, if you are being accountable, where you feel like you deserve it more than. And that's where you have to check yourself, because that's where we end up allowing things to get to our head when the tables turn and the power dynamics shift, which cause us to repeat the cycles. So, I don't know. I'm probably finna go, y'all. I just wanted to come on here and talk about these things. This is basically what we pray for, though. And as you start to see, child, I'm just keeping it a beam with y'all, okay? My little fingers done fell asleep holding this damn thing. Oh my goodness. Look, I'm gonna show y'all Snowflake. She teeping. She teeping. Who's that tanky girl? Who's that tanky girl? Oh, it's tanky girl. But no, you guys, that's what it is. Oh, you're definitely not alone, Liz. Period. And that's what we have to remember. We're not alone. But we also have to remember that in order to get the end result of what we've asked for, in order to get the beautiful rainbows and sunshine that we all feel in our hearts, we have to clean up what's been messed up so we can start that life over again. Okay, I'm finna go, y'all. Be sure to like and subscribe to continue to catch the vibe. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all for being here. And put your post notifications on so that when these next 3 videos drop, because I got 3 strong channel messages that are going to drop on this channel. I did want to say, for you guys who've been watching for like other types of content, like current events and stuff that I was doing, like editing videos, I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that again, because for some reason my laptop is not letting me edit more content. Like, I don't know what's going on. It won't load any of my past videos. It won't load anything that I was already in the process of editing. So I'm just not finna stress it. And I'm just going to give you guys this content, and I hope you like it, and I appreciate you guys, and enjoy the rest of your night, okay? Y'all need to go to bed. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.